Hey guys, my name is Christian Vituli. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time coming across this channel, welcome to the family. Glad to have you here. On this platform, we talk about anything and everything relating to football or soccer, whatever you prefer to call it, depending on where you live in the world. But since I live in the United States, we tend to call it soccer. But I'm pretty sure you can notice my accent as well. That's because I was born in Congo, and I used to actually call it football. I still do, but I also call it soccer. So I do understand when people go back and forth. But the truth is, it really doesn't matter where you're from, what background, or what you call it. The most important thing is the beautiful game connects us all. And we all love the beautiful game. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. So if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and feel free to hit that notification button to stay alert on the next time we drop new content. With that being said, let's jump into it. So today I wanted to talk about a special young player by the name of Lamine Yamal. Now, as a football fan, first of all, I'm super excited. And as a Barcelona fan, secondly, I'm beyond excited. Now, this kid is 16 years old and he's already a starter for Barcelona first team. Let me say that one more time. A 16-year-old, a starter for Barcelona first team. Now, that just sounds very crazy to me. I could be sleeping right now, having the best dream of my life, and someone walks into the room and says, "Christian, there's a 16-year-old who happens to be a starter for Barcelona first team." I will immediately wake up from that dream because that doesn't sound right. That's very uncommon. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but it's just very uncommon for a 16-year-old to be a starter of any professional team, let alone Barcelona, one of the biggest club in the world in history. And some of us have played the game, right? When we're 16, let's just be honest. Some of us couldn't even get on the starting 11 for our local team, our high school team, our club team, our academy teams, right? But this kid is 16 years old and he's already doing it big. So that just shows this level to this stuff, man. So let me not get carried away. Today's video is about me bringing up an argument, making a case, or making a suggestion, a proposal for the next manager to kind of consider moving Lamine Yamal to the number 10 role, to the free role, to the Messi role. And before you guys start trolling, I just want to make it clear I am not comparing Lamine Yamal to Messi because Messi is the greatest player ever played this game. And I don't care what anybody tells me. I don't care. Some people might say Pele, some people might say Zizou, some people might say Maradona. Good for them. I'm not going to try to argue with them. But in my life, in my opinion, is Messi, hands down. I'm 30 years old now, so I've grown up watching Messi, and what he has accomplished is just beyond. It's beyond something that I can imagine. He's the GOAT in my book. So let me just get that out of the way. But the reason why I feel like Lamine Yamal should be given the free role is because of five reasons, and I'm gonna go through each one of them with you guys. So the first one is creativity. Now we know he's only 16 years old and he hasn't reached his full potential yet. But if you're a Barcelona fan or a football fan who happens to watch Barcelona week in and week out, you'll clearly see that Lamine Yamal is the most creative player we have in our team. As far as an attacking threat, he really is that guy. Now we have Lewandowski, we have Gundo, we have Pedri, we have Frankie De Jong, all amazing players, right? Not taking anything away from them. But when we're talking about a creative outlet, Lamine Yamal is that guy. You know, the way he's able to control the pace of the game, the way he's able to beat players 1v1, the way he's able to find that pass, that cutting pass, play fast when he needs to. Like he's very, very creative. And I feel like us putting him on the wing, on the right side, even though he's been performing and he's been doing extremely well. But I think it would just benefit us more. It will benefit Barcelona more if we can even start him on the right, and throughout the game he can um, move in centrally, or if he needs to go to the right, wherever he needs to go in order for him to affect the game in a positive way. We need to give him that freedom. We need to create, we need to build a team around Lamine Yamal because he's that creative, right? It reminds me of young Messi. Once again, not comparing him, but just as far as the creative level, he's already at a very high level at that age. So I think we need to kind of give him the key, right? Start giving him a little bit of responsibility to make things happen. So as he matures, as he age, it wouldn't be something new to him because he's already been doing it for such a long time. I'm not saying put all the pressure on him, but we need to be able to kind of let him play freely. And I think him playing on the right wing sometimes limit him, and it needs to be in the center of everything happening in the game because he's that creative. He's able to beat players. He's able to make progressive passes, and he's just going to make his teammates better. A high IQ of the game. The second reason why I think we need to give Lamine Yamal the Messi role is because lack of pace. Now, even though he's playing right wing, I'm not saying that he's slow, but he's also not a fast dude. Let's just be honest. He's not a Usman Dembele. He's not Iron Robin. He's not Frank Ribery. Because usually when I think of wingers, I think of players that are fast. It's one of their attribute, right? It's very rare to find in modern football a winger who's very slow, right? So it definitely does help to have pace. You don't need it, but it's definitely important attribute for a winger to have pace. Unless you're playing a system like Pep Guardiola, where it doesn't really matter if you're a winger or not. Everybody's kind of like there's a whole system going on. Everybody can kind of trade places, know how to positional play, all those kind of stuff. But old school natural winger, you have to have pace, and I think sometimes when it comes across fast defenders like Alfonso Davis or Furlan Mendy, even though we know Lamine Yamal got the skill and the ability to beat players, but what's going to happen if he beats Alfonso Davis and then trying to get on the foot race? Alfonso Davis will be able to um, recover because he's very fast, right? And talking about Alfonso Davis, he's definitely coming to Madrid. So pretty soon we're going to start to see that battle between Lamine Yamal and Alfonso Davis if Lamine Yamal continues to play on the right wing. Another example, what if Lamine Yamal comes across a solid defender like Furlan Mendy, right? So it's going to be kind of tough for him to eliminate those players because they have the pace to recover. So that's why I think we need to move him centrally or just give him the freedom to roam anywhere he needs to go in order for him to create some opportunities for the team. And a lot of people forget, like, I know some of you guys may say, well, Messi started on the right wing, but don't forget about young Messi. Young Messi was extremely fast. Messi on his prime, when he was younger, he was extremely, extremely fast. So we saw the goal that he scored that resembled Maradona's iconic goal. So you got to have pace to do that. So that's one of the reasons why I feel like we should give Lamine Yamal the number 10 role because the lack of pace and sometimes is going to kind of hinder his game a little bit. And let's keep in mind, like he's playing top level football now. Like there's going to be coaches that's going to study him, right? There's going to be opponent that's going to try to get under his skin, do whatever they need to do to stop him because he's already 16 years old and he's playing like he's been playing for years. He's amazing. So teams going to try to find a way to kind of stop that. So lack of pace is definitely a concern for me. That's why I feel like he should be able to go anywhere he needs to go. Yeah, he can start on the right, but throughout the game, he can move centrally, he can go on the right, and then other players occupying those other positions needs to be able to move according to Lamine Yamal. If the game is asking for Lamine Yamal to go on the right, to move to the right, then whoever is playing on the right, whether it's Rafinha, Joao Felix, they need to move so they can keep structure and balance of the team. Um, so reason number three, why I think Lamine Yamal should be given the number 10 role is his decision making. For his age, I have to be honest, he's just very, very, very mature on his play. Um, I don't know if there's too many 16-year-old who have that maturity in their play. But Lamine Yamal, there's a reason why he's playing for Barcelona first team, because sometimes when I watch him play, his decision making is amazing. He gets it right 9 out of 10 times. And I think, especially if you're playing the freedom role, you're playing the number 10 role, being able to make great decision when you need to, right? When you have to, is crucial. And Lamine Yamal can definitely do that. There was a game when Ferran Torres had a hat trick, his first hat trick. Lamine Yamal provided pass where it was a first time pass and it literally split the defense open. So, and it's been a while, so refresh my memory, but I'm pretty sure it was the first time pass, splitting the defender, and Ferran Torres was in, ended up finishing up the action and scoring a goal. So once again, that's one thing I love about Lamine Yamal, his decision making. He's like a vet, and that's very, very important. If you're a young soccer player, you got to make sure you work on your decision making, because when you get to that level, yes, you can dribble, you can do 100 step overs, but if you're not able to make right decisions, then you're not really going to go far. Soccer is played with your head. And Lamine Yamal does that best out of anybody. His decision making is definitely above an average player. So that's one of the reasons why I think Lamine Yamal or the next coach coming in should consider giving Lamine Yamal the number 10 role. All right, the fourth reason, um, Lamine Yamal is unpredictable. You can see it now when he's playing outside on the right wing. He's very unpredictable the way he plays. Sometimes it can take you inside, sometimes it can take you outside, sometimes it can pass it back, sometimes it can cross, sometimes it can try to bend it. So you can't really predict what he's gonna do every single time. And that's the sign of a great player, because sometimes defender will study you, or it tends to want to go on the right. That's where it feels comfortable. It doesn't really go on the left that much. But Lamine Yamal always does a great job mixing it up, and that's what I think will definitely take him to that next level when he gets a lot of games, enough games under his belt, and once he reaches peak, he's just going to be unstoppable. And there's no other position to impact the game more, especially if you have the unpredictable level in your play, than playing the number 10 role. So I think his unpredictability is amazing. So let's give him the key. Let's let him cook. Let's put trust in him, not pressure, right? Because it's going to take time. He's still a young player, so there's going to be consistency here and then. But so far, like I love what I see. I love what I see. He's amazing. So let's put him in the number 10 role. Let him create. He's very unpredictable. So sometimes it may just be one, two, three, four players and then make that right pass. Right. Sometimes it can even, I don't know, first time pass and his teammate is on. But the one thing that I will add though that I've noticed, maybe because he's playing on the right, but Lamine Yamal needs to work on making runs without the ball, because I know he tends to like the ball in his feet. He tends to like to receive the ball. But I think the one thing we can kind of help him, or something that he can add on his toolbox, is to be able to make run, diagonal run, or straight run. Right. Sometimes you don't need to have the ball. You can come check in and then explode. So that's something that I feel like he can definitely work on. But once again, 16 years old, he's already playing at that level. I can't really say anything to him because when I was 16 years old, I was not even at his level. So kudos to you, Lamine Yamal. And then the last reason I think why we need to move Lamine Yamal to a free role is because him playing wing is physically exhausting. It's physically taxing because any players, in my opinion, I believe a right back, a left back, a right wing, or a left wing is probably the hardest position to play in soccer because you have to be the fittest player on the team, right? I could be wrong. You guys let me know what you think. But him going up and down, up and down, up and down all game long, like that's going to put a lot of miles in his leg. And if we want to prolong his career, if we want to get a lot of years out of Lamine Yamal, we may want to consider moving him centrally, right? We may want to consider give him that freedom role so he doesn't have to do so much running up and down because it's physically exhausting, man. Wingers, it's not an easy position to play. You have to be the fittest person ever. And I just think that since his body is still growing, we need to kind of pay attention to that. So those were the five reasons why I think Lamine Yamal should be given the freedom role. You guys, let me know what you think. If you disagree with me, I totally understand it. I just want to know what you think about that. And then I just want to say one more thing before I conclude this video. First of all, we gotta go back to trusting La Masia. We have to because no club in the world, creates and makes players like La Masia. We've created so many great players, legends of the game. I don't even have to name a lot of players, right? I can just say one name, right? I can just say one name. Lionel Messi. Barcelona is responsible of creating a player like Lionel Messi, the greatest player ever played the game. So that's like the biggest flex on every club. Yeah, we have the Manchester City, able to create a player like Phil Foden, amazing players, right? But let's just be honest about that, though. La Masia have created it. Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, obviously Messi, Cesc Fabregas, PK, even Mikel Arteta had played for Barcelona a little bit as well. So I don't know what La Masia is doing, but whatever they've been doing, it's been working for years. Like they have this secret recipe, right? I don't know what they're feeding them kids. I don't know what they're putting in the water. I don't know what they're teaching those players. But every time a player comes out of the Masia, they're just amazing. They're just amazing. And I think we need to go back to trusting La Masia because our most successful era under Pep, the majority of the starting 11 was made up of La Masia. I think maybe seven or six players at the time. Six players at that time were created from La Masia. So we need to trust them more. And especially now that we're broke. Like we're so broke. Broke. It's like a guy asking a girl on a date, and then they go on a date, they eat everything else, and then the guy's like, "Oh man, I left my wallet," even though he knew he didn't have money, right? And then the girl ended up covering, paying for the date. We're that broke, right? So now we need to go back to La Masia and trusting them. And now we have a lot of players coming through, right? We have Kubarsi, amazing center back. Fermin Lopez, I love his style because it just reminds me of Paulinho a little bit. Technically is a little bit better than Paulinho, but he can sniff goals, right? He makes the right runs. He knows how to time those runs. We have Gavi, a warrior. And the one player that I'm super excited about coming through probably next year is going to be Mikel Faye, a great left center back from Senegal. So watch out for him. I know I talked about a lot of stuff today, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video and let me know what you think. With that being said, thank you and ciao.